I've been excluded on Oprah.
On Oprah?
On Oprah.
I know this, that many of the things that have happened to you have also happened for you.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person, I would venture to say, more high profile than this.
After Ice Cube released a horrific video purportedly connected to one of Diddy's contentious parties, Oprah Winfrey seemed clearly upset in court. Public scrutiny has increased since the revelation of the video, prompting inquiries about her impact and the people she surrounds herself with. Oprah made a calm speech in response to mounting pressure from the ongoing probe, considering how every obstacle in life presents a chance for personal development.
That many of the things that have happened to you have also happened for you. And that I learned when the crisis challenge showed up for me, I immediately would ask, sometimes out loud, but certainly in my own conscious spirit, what is this here to teach me? And how can I get that lesson as soon as possible?
The proof of the satanic activity that happened at Diddy's parties, you can see him right there holding a candle, pouring hot wax onto the subject below. Many of these women who were forced to be in these activities were not only there because of a financial incentive, but also because of social pressure and other things like promises of afterlife and things like that. False promises, obviously, but things that they take very seriously, as creeps like that in the background, drinking his little drink and holding.
Known for his unafraid candor, Ice Cube has made news lately by revealing purported wrongdoing in Hollywood's elite circles. He questioned Oprah Winfrey's impact on the business in a particularly startling moment, implying that her strong presence might have contributed to the industry's tendency to keep quiet about delicate subjects. His disclosures have sparked intense discussion and brought the entertainment industry's demand for accountability and transparency back into the spotlight.
Again.
What platforms have banned you?
I've been I tried to go on The View. They didn't have me on The View.
Why?
Well, a few of the guests just really didn't like where I was coming from. So, or a few of the hosts, I mean. So that's what I was told by the producers. You know, if the producers was just copping out and using some of the hosts to not have me come on and explain myself, but
you'd be a good booking for them.
I've been on there before.
Yeah.
You know, it's just when I've became an independent.
According to recent reports, Ice Cube may have insider knowledge of clandestine Hollywood parties that allegedly involved exploitation and misconduct. Investigations into the actual nature of these incidents and the individuals involved have accelerated as a result of his disclosures. The entertainment business urgently needs higher ethical standards and more transparency, as this increased scrutiny makes clear.
I'm not part of the club. And a lot of you listening to right here, right now, you're not part of the club either. And what I realized with the club is what makes them so mad is when you don't want to be a part of the club. That pisses them off. What club am I talking about? I'm talking about the club of gatekeepers that we all got to deal with. You know who they are, and they definitely know who they are. A lot of people would be like, what, who? Come on, man, stop playing. So, ever since I put out the contract with Black America, you know they've been with me. Here and there, this and that. But, you know, I expect. You know, I'm working with, on the big three for a long time, and you know how they...
Recent claims that there is incriminating video from exclusive private parties have surfaced amid the continuing court processes concerning Sean Combs. These allegations raise questions about the extent of wrongdoing and the potential involvement of well-known people, by implying that the material may be essential to ongoing investigations. Ice Cube has never been afraid to speak out against exploitation and corruption in the entertainment industry. His vocal support has highlighted the importance of holding people accountable.
Contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes.
You're saying that there's tapes being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is.
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
this
I can't
tape.
explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Regardless of their level of influence or position, and illuminated long-standing systemic problems. With reports showing startlingly high expenses, there has also been an increase in conversation around the lavish expenditure associated with some private gatherings. These disclosures have triggered discussions about the distribution of resources and brought up significant moral questions regarding the entertainment industry's culture of extravagant luxury.
It's harder to be a man in America now than it was when you were a kid?
Yes. Saying what you feel, being yourself, is what they call toxic. You know, shouldn't be called toxic for our instincts and for, you know, I was born this way. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Like, why can't we be ourselves? We were born this way too. Yes, I think race, it takes up too much space. There's people that we all have in our lives who are the same race that we can't stand. And there's people in our lives from other races that we get along with.
Numerous celebrities have come forward to express their viewpoints and share personal experiences in the aftermath of recent charges, giving new depth to the current discussion.
Puff was the biggest guy in the world. You know, you couldn't even get in this party. And throwing a party, he said, yo, Playboy, this party's $1.5 million. I said, like, to what? I mean, what are you saying? He said, it costs $1.5 million to throw this party. I said, Puff, oh my God, I love it. The party's amazing. Yes, the mayor is here and everything.
This evolving storyline draws attention to the changing balance of power in Hollywood and reflects the industry's growing need for accountability, honesty, and transparency. Discussions concerning how powerful people in Hollywood deal with accountability have been rekindled by the ongoing discussion. Power relations have historically frequently allowed some people to avoid repercussions.
Showing a Diddy party, and all of these celebrities in there are talking about Diddy's off parties. This commercial is absolutely crazy, and you cannot tell me all of these people in Hollywood haven't known, just like Cat Williams said, about Diddy parties. Derek G is the first one to start talking about Diddy's parties in this commercial, and look under his name, it says The Art of Swinging. He goes on to explain how Diddy had a party for 5 days in a row on his private jet called Air Diddy, and he doesn't see how he did that. You also have other celebrities in this commercial talking about Diddy parties. One of them is Nicole Richie, and it says next to her name that she had been to 4,500 and some Diddy parties. And then you even have Fat Joe in this commercial talking about Diddy's parties after the parties. Like, this is absolutely wild. I honestly don't remember this commercial, but it was used for the VMA.
Narrative underscores the evolving dynamics within Hollywood and the growing emphasis on transparency and accountability.
Cat Williams literally told us that he's heard about parties for years and the people that go there, and he said Diddy likes to party and he always knew to tell him no, and how he was offered so much money for his hole. I don't care what nobody tells me. All of this Diddy stuff was well known in Hollywood, and this commercial literally showing it. I'm gonna go ahead and roll y'all this crazy ass commercial about Diddy parties, and you just let me know what you guys think about all this in the comments.
For the next 53 seconds, we'll take a look inside Diddy parties.
Diddy once threw a party on a jet flying around the world. Now, it started on a Tuesday, and somehow ended,
which has stoked calls for systemic change and a more fair and just approach in the sector. The well-known rapper and producer 50 Cent is creating a stir with his recent plan to make a documentary about the grave accusations made against music mogul Diddy. The Netflix project, which is rumored to be called Diddy Do It.
He's got extraordinary lawyers, and maybe people usually historically can get out just about anything with their money. But what I read from the details yesterday, that's someone who's not getting out of prison. And when you don't give him bail, like I thought he was a flight risk before. I thought he was going to go the Russell Simmons route as soon as this started clicking in on him. When you're reading the details on Diddy, does this seem like someone who's going to be in for a long time?
I think it's totally possible to answer that, but what I will say is that he is going to not have an opportunity to get a plea deal. And the reason I think that this will go through a trial is because they want to they want him in prison for life, and no one accepts plea for life unless the alternative is capital punishment. But what's in the indictment is damning, and that's how all indictments are. But now you have to go prove it in front of a jury of your peers. And proof is not 1,000 bottles of oil. As crazy as it is, and what we heard about the freak-offs and how awful, disgusting, and disturbing, that's not our justice system. You have to get into court and get people to see what happened and prove what happened beyond the reasonable doubt, which is super hard.
Is expected to explore the most contentious facets of Diddy's past. High-profile party events, legal issues, and acts that have been the focus of recent court cases will all be discussed. With this endeavor, 50 Cent is taking a daring step toward transparency by using his platform to raise awareness of these important topics. A significant revelation is imminent. A documentary that will provide fresh insight into the mysterious personalities of Puff Daddy and P. Diddy. Many people in the entertainment industry have subtly acknowledged Oprah Winfrey's significant influence on the field throughout the years. Her impact has spread to far-reaching areas outside her well-known talk program.
I have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Diddy Do It, right?
Yeah.
I know you've been on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to the. Yeah. So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated to a degree.
But was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? I know what was going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky. Like all of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say sicko normal. You go to the 90s and Kiki said he paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
It's a little, like, you get the craziest accusations. You had MZ created a docuseries they went to, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
You're one of the first persons in entertainment to really call out people and kind of have that authority.
Insiders claim that because of her power to influence careers and public opinion, few people feel free to voice concerns. This environment has fostered a cautious culture in which it is common practice to avoid publicly criticizing her, which adds to the industry's persistent silence. Oprah, who was long seen as untouchable, is now being examined more closely. There has been growing speculation that she may have been aware of or involved in some incidents connected to influential networks. Although she has not yet been subjected to much official interrogation, the change in popular opinion indicates that even the most admired individuals might not be impervious to inquiry indefinitely.
Canceling their interviews because they don't want to get blacklisted by Oprah. Who wants to be on the wrong side of Oprah in Hollywood? Who wants to be on the wrong side of Tyler Perry in Hollywood? Who wants to be on the wrong side of Steve Harvey in Hollywood?
The narrative also makes comparisons to a spiritual healer who performed surgery using just his bare hands and scissors, claiming to be able to access the souls of saints and doctors. Joe Rogan freely explored Oprah's enormous cultural and professional influence on his podcast. He underlined that her influence extends beyond influencing stories and includes the authority to choose who is given more or less attention in public discourse. Rogan's viewpoint gives the discussion a fresh angle and makes listeners think about the significant influence that celebrities have on the media and the administration of justice.
He could channel the spirits of doctors and saints, and he would perform surgeries on people with his bare hands and scissors. Not to mention, John of God also literally essayed hundreds of different young girls and women, ranging from the ages of 9 to 7, and some of his victims included his own daughter and her daughter, his granddaughter, and he was also running a ring selling newborns to childless couples for $50,000, all while being a spiritual healer to...
Rumors that associate Oprah with Diddy's purported misconduct are among the ones that are circulating. Although there isn't any concrete proof to support these allegations, the conjecture suggests that a wider network of people may be working together in ways that aren't totally moral. Despite the fact that these accusations are still unsubstantiated, they add to the rising concern about the possible covert use of power.
Don't get me wrong, I think she's a wonderful woman. I think she's a powerful force of good and positive energy.
But you ain't no Elon.
But she also brought us Dr. Oz and The Secret. We have to remember what this lady has done.
She has to be held accountable.
I give her, but I mean, cut the shit. The Secret is a particularly egregious offense.
You just...
Oh, you don't believe? I will beat wings until I take off. What's up?
Yeah.
It was one of the more I want to say disturbing, but it was confusing when that was taking hold of people. When I had friends that were telling me that The Secret is real and that they imagined they were going to fulfill these child dreams that they had about whatever, being a fucking astronaut, whatever it would be. There's a couple that I knew that were trying to tell me that The Secret was going to be the thing and that they had a vision board and they had photographs, they put pictures up.
A lawyer working on Diddy's case has made a suggestion that more powerful people may soon be named. Despite the fact that no names have been made public, this declaration has caused concern in the entertainment sector. People are left wondering who else might be involved in this growing crisis, as new information keeps coming to light. The case's lawyer has called the evidence acquired extremely important.
Due to her alleged involvement in human trafficking. In a desperate attempt to evade justice, Oprah reportedly tried to OD. Gayle King, her close confidant, posted an update revealing that Oprah is currently in the hospital, suggesting she is trying to avoid facing the serious charges against her. Meanwhile, Oprah's public relations team is in overdrive, attributing her hospital to complications from the weight loss drug Ozempic. Reports have surfaced that Oprah was allegedly involved in harvesting children in Hawaii for their anti-aging properties. Speculation is growing that Oprah may emerge from the hospital with a disability, potentially silencing her permanently about the accusations of trafficking children from her African school and exploiting kids in Hawaii for high profile.
They claim that the information may significantly affect the careers and reputations of individuals concerned if it were made public. The entertainment business is preparing for what may turn out to be one of the most significant events in recent history, with legal teams carefully examining every aspect. The seriousness of this evidence emphasizes how urgent the current investigations are. Sources have indicated that the parties may have kept their relationship open in a related development, which would have made matters more complicated.
People with crank calls and people with foolishness and people with malcontent, but we are sifting through that and trying to ensure that we identify and vet people that have real claims, legitimate, credible claims. Right now, we're talking about 120 people from 25 different states for conduct occurred over 25 years. And a lot of these people were flown in. And this wasn't a secret. I mean, it's known that people were being flown in for these parties. People were being paid cash to attend parties. People were being identified at clubs or at concerts, on the street even, and invited to these parties. So you have that group of people that are involved. And then you have another group, and maybe this is a more sinister situation where, young people with stars in their eyes wanting to take into the entertainment industry with promises of...
Essence Magazine is the source of this information. That concludes the video for today. Next time, be sure to check back for additional updates.